Hello friends, today I take up a new topic and the name of the topic is how Muhammad Shah Rangila destroyed the splendor of the Mughal Empire. Muhammad Shah Rangila was a fascinating character in the medieval Indian history, and so I have taken up this topic in order to know as to how the Mughal Empire decayed during the reign of Muhammad Shah Rangila on account of his weak character. So, my lesson plan includes introduction, accession of Roshan Akhtar as the 13th Mughal Emperor of India in 1719 AD, invasion of Nadir Shah in 1739 AD, cultural development during the period of Muhammad Shah Rangila, and finally conclusion, and then the lesson that we get from the life of Muhammad Shah Rangila. Friends, if you like my channel AJIS Academy Indore, please share and subscribe. This is free channel. The pen name of Muhammad Shah was Rangila, means joyous or colorful. He was completely indifferent to administrative improvement and military warfare, with the result that he saw before his eyes the decline and downfall of empire in his own lifetime. One by one, nobles and military officers deserted the Mughal Empire and carved out independent kingdoms. Rangila liked the company of dancers, mimics, merrymakers and the company of women. He attired himself and bedecked as a woman and danced with them in Diwan-e Khas in front of the nobles. The debauchery and extreme sexual behavior of the emperor before high-ranking nobles was very much detested by them, since most of the nobles who work under Muhammad Shah Rangila, they also work under Aurangzeb, the last great Mughal emperor, under whom the empire of Mughals reached at its zenith. And so, when they saw this bizarre behavior of Muhammad Shah Rangila, they very much detested and finally started deserting him. His own Prime Minister Asaf Jah, who was also called Nizam-ul-Mulk, deserted the court in disgust and established an independent Hyderabad state in 1725 AD. Neither he took interest in the administration or military warfare, nor he used talent and stalwart nobles and military commanders who worked under Aurangzeb. Now I switch over to another point, and that is accession of Roshan Akhtar as the 13th Mughal Emperor of India in 1719 AD. Friends, as you know that Roshan Akhtar was the son of Jahan Shah, who was son of Bahadur Shah first. During the war of accession among brothers, Jahan Shah was killed by Jahandar Shah, who became Mughal Emperor in 1713 AD after the death of Bahadur Shah first. Now, Muhammad Shah Rangila became the 13th Mughal Emperor in 1719 AD with the help of Sayyid brothers, and he ruled for 29 years up to 1748 AD. Died prematurely at the age of 45 years on account of his bad habits, opium eating, and suffered from diphtheria. In 1720, he got rid of Hussain Ali and one Amin Khan killed Hussain Ali near Fatehpur Sikri. In 1722, the elder brother Abdullah was poisoned to death. And so, this way, Muhammad Shah Rangila got rid of the powerful Sayyid brothers who were virtually kingmakers. He appointed Asaf Jah, Nizamul ul Mulk as Wazir, who left court in disgust in 1724, as I have already told you, and established an independent kingdom at Hyderabad. With the flight of Asaf Jah from Mughal court, the flight of loyalty of majority of Nawabs started, leading to the decay and decline of Mughal Empire swiftly. Saadat Khan, who was an Irani noble, he was appointed Subadar of Awadh and later declared himself as the Nawab, became virtually independent ruler. He paid nominal tribute to Mughal emperor. Similarly, Afghan Rohilla made themselves master of Rohilkhand. Murshid Quli Khan virtually became independent in Bengal. And in those days, Bengal's Suba constituted Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. It was the largest province of Mughal Empire, highest revenue getter for Mughals. And now Murshid Quli Khan deserted Mughal Empire, thereby weakening the foundation of Mughals. Similarly, Marathas under Peshwa Bajirao made themselves lord of the region of Gujarat, Malwa and Bundelkhand. Sikhs established a small misl in Punjab. Rajputana virtually became independent. Marwar, Mewar and Amber, all these three important kingdoms of Rajputs became virtually independent from Mughals. Now I switch over to another point, invasion of Nadir Shah in 1739 AD. Lured by the wealth of Mughals and weaknesses manifested by the Mughal emperor Nadir Shah, who happened to be the king of Iran, attacked Mughal Empire. First of all, he captured Kabul, Kandahar, west of Indus, and thereafter he proceeded towards Punjab and then to Karnal, where he met the Mughal army. This battle lasted not more than 3 hours. The main army of Mughals did not fight. The Mughal emperor Muhammad Shah Rangila wanted to have negotiation with Nadir Shah, and so he did not fight against Nadir Shah. There was an agreement, and that agreement was to give 2 crore rupees to Nadir Shah by the Mughal emperor. But when Sadat Khan incited Nadir Shah that this is a paltry sum. If you go to Delhi, you will get lots of wealth, riches, jewelry. And this treachery was done by Sadat Khan on account of the fact that he was very much jealous of Asaf Jah, Nizam ul Mulk, who was made the Prime Minister or Wazir by Muhammad Shah Rangila. So, on account of jealousy among nobles, he hatched conspiracy, and that's why Nadir Shah marched towards Delhi. People of Delhi did not like the arrival of Irani military forces, and so around 3,000 Irani forces were killed by the inhabitants of Delhi. Nadir Shah retaliated by giving the order of general massacre, and it is estimated that around 20,000 inhabitants of Delhi were butchered by the army of Nadir Shah. Muhammad Shah Rangila begged pardon of Nadir Shah, and then the massacre was stopped. Crores of property, Takhte Taus, Kohinoor diamond, thousands of elephants, horses, thousands of artisans were taken away by Nadir Shah, thereby destroying the reputation of the Mughal Empire. Although in 1948, the Mughal army defeated Ahmad Shah Durrani in the Battle of Manupur, the sudden death of Muhammad Shah Rangila sent shockwaves throughout the Mughal Empire, from which they never gathered strength to recoup, and Mughal Empire permanently was destroyed. Now I switch over to another point. During the period of Muhammad Shah Rangila, there were certain cultural developments that took place around Delhi. Urdu became court language instead of Persian. Qawwali was introduced in imperial court. Religious institutions were used as educational centers and were called maktab. Quran was translated into Urdu. Instead of Turkish dress, sherwani became royal dress. Performing arts like Kathak flourished. Painters like Nidhamal and Chitarman depicted scenes of court life exquisitely. Musicians flourished in the court. Khayal instead of Dhrupad became the main musical form to be played by musicians. Thus, Rangila completely reversed the policy of Aurangzeb in matters relating to music and performing arts. What conclusion we derive from this discussion? Muhammad Shah led luxurious life. He gave himself to debauchery, womanizing, frivolous behavior, unbecoming of an emperor of mighty Mughal Empire. Mughal nobility took advantage of his weakness and carved out independent states in Deccan, Bengal, Awadh, Rajputana. Marathas took advantage of the declining fortune of Mughal Empire and thereby annexed Malwa, Gujarat and Bundelkhand. The invasion of Nadir Shah hastened the downfall of the Mughal Empire, which was already tottering. The Mughal nobility, the bulwark of the Mughal Empire, hatched conspiracy to serve their own interest. Friends, as you know that Mughal nobility was divided into two. One group was led by foreigners and another by Indian Muslims. The foreign nobility was again divided into three groups. One led by Irani, second by Turani, and third by Central Asian nobles. Now, because of the religious policy adopted by Aurangzeb, the support and allegiance extended by Rajputs to the Mughal Empire was completely withdrawn, and it resulted into loss of the balancer. So between these groups, Rajputs acted as balancers. Now, with the departure of Rajputs from the internal politics of Mughals, the close contest between foreign nobility and the Indian nobility started, thereby weakening the foundation of Mughal Empire. After the death of Muhammad Shah Rangila, the splendor and the grandeur of the Mughal Empire ended permanently. Although the Mughal Empire continued for the next 100 years in name till 1857, when the last Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah was sent to Rangoon in exile. Lesson. What are the lessons that we draw from the life of Muhammad Shah Rangila? When Muhammad Shah Rangila ascended the Mughal throne, he was the emperor of Hindustan, which stretched from the Hindu Kush mountain in the northwest to Assam or Ahom in the east, and from Sindh in the west, and then to the extreme south. So when he died, what you find? That his empire became very much restricted. In a country where there are different ethnic, linguistic, religious and regional primordial loyalties, a strong central force led by a capable head of the government is essential for the unity and integrity of the country. Muhammad Shah Rangila did not improve or reform administration, nor he showed emotional maturity. When Ahmad Shah Durrani was defeated in 1748 at the heavy cost, and even his own Wazir Kamrul Khan was killed, he was very much shocked and ultimately died. While the nobility swelled in the rank with the passage of time, during the rule of Akbar, the number of Mansabdars were around 2000, and during the period of Aurangzeb it swelled to 11,400. And again, when the nobles became kingmakers, the number of Mansabdars again swelled, with the result that there started crisis in the Jagirdari system. In order to meet the demands of nobles, most of the Khalsa land or the crown land were converted into Jagirs, and it resulted in the loss of revenues for the central government. The Mughal Empire was not in the position to pay the salaries to the army, and so we find that after Aurangzeb, the Mughal army, which was once a mighty army in the world, slowly declined. It could not meet the challenges posed by local zamindars, nawabs, jagirdars, and those recalcitrant elements who raised the banner of revolt. Again, the share of Mughal Empire was half of the produce, and it resulted into the dissatisfaction among majority of people, and that's why we see that a number of revolts occurred during the period of Aurangzeb and thereafter. Nobles became more powerful than emperor. Nobles became kingmakers. The loyalty of Mughal army started decaying, and they were not loyal to Mughal emperor but to their subedars, local governors. No efforts were made by Muhammad Shah Rangila to stem the tide of revolts or divisiveness that had set in among the class of nobility. And so, when our constitution was drafted, our constitution bestowed more power on the center in comparison to states to check vociferous tendencies and centrifugal forces. Friends, if you like my channel, please share and subscribe. This is free channel. Thank you.